Chef Taras here from Allison Hall, Northwestern University. Today we're going to do a little bit of a salad that involves grapefruit, blue cheese, beets, mesclun, and quinoa for protein. And then we have some citrus for the vitamin factors. This is a very good salad for the winter when it's a little bit hardier. It gives you all the vitamins you need to protect you from the flus and the colds, and especially if you go out there fishing with any of the family members on the ice. Well, first thing first, we're going to start out with our cutting glove because safety is very important, and you definitely want to go back home with 10 fingers. I'm going to put another glove on top of it because I want to cover up my cut glove when I'm working safely with food. So here we have grapefruit, we have some romaine lettuce, we have a red onion, we have some green cabbage, a blue cheese, olive oil, we have some lemons, red and golden beets, a mesclun, and then we have some cooked off quinoa. Now for the beets, you can definitely go ahead and do it from the raw stage, or you can go ahead and buy it from a store already cooked off for you or pickled. First thing first, we're going to start out with our grapefruit. My mixing bowl. What you want to do here is take both ends, and what we're going to do is do segments. Now you definitely don't have to do segments. You can just dice it up to make it easier on yourself. So here I'm just taking the skin off of the grapefruit to expose the flesh. Grapefruit is full of vitamin C, which is great for the winter time. And then what I'm going to do is I make sure that all the white is off. And I'm going to do the same thing with the orange. Now citrus is a great pairing with beets, which are naturally sweet and earthy, and then you have the acid and the sweetness from both of grapefruit and orange that will accompany it very well. So after I peeled my beets, I'm going to go work over my bowl. Now some of the residual juice will be nice because it will act like a dressing. So what you want to do is where the white part is, you want to go on both sides to create nice clean segments of the actual citrus, trying to avoid the seeds as much as possible. Now how much you add of each is totally up to you. Depends how much you like grapefruit. You could just go with orange or grapefruit depending on yours. Now you can also do a little cheating and go ahead and buy them already pre-segmented. And like I also said, you can dice them as well to make it easy. This is just a nicer presentation. Same thing with my grapefruit. If you notice, I'm just using the blade to cut through, making sure that I don't put too much pressure on so I don't go through it and cut my hand. But at the same time, that's why we wear a cut glove. I think that's a good amount of grapefruit and orange. I'm going to move on to the red onion. Now this one I'm just going to do a slight julienne on it, as thin as possible. Again, also a preference. If you don't like red onion, you do not have to put it in. But I think it adds a nice little texture plus a little bit of bite to that one. Now what I did was with the onion, I cut it in half. I cut a little sliver out of it, and then I made little thin slivers from that. I'm going to add that into my bowl with the rest of the salad. I have my green cabbage. Now green cabbage is also full of vitamins and it's great for you. It's a little bit adds also great texture, and so you're not just eating lettuce. I'm going to do the same thing, as thin as possible. Now you can use a mandolin if you would like to get it nice thin cuts. Again, the preference is however much you want. You don't have to do a lot of it if you don't like it. If you don't want it in there at all, do not put it in there. But I think it's a great piece to add to the salad. You can also use a red cabbage if you want to add a little bit more color to it. Then we have our romaine lettuce. Now I just cleaned up some leaves. Now this one you can go a little bit hardier because lettuce is not as hardy as cabbage is, so you can leave it a little bit bigger so it's easier to use a fork on. Here I got about 3 leaves in there for a single salad. So now we have that. Now here I have red and golden beets that I diced up. I peeled them, I roasted them at 350 degrees with a little bit of olive oil and a little bit of Italian seasoning. You can add a little honey, you can do a lot of variations. I also said you can use pickled beets from a can if you are trying to save time, because those are great as well. Or a lot of times in Whole Foods and Jewel, I've seen them already pre-cooked, packaged up. You can just dice them up and have ready to go. So we're just going to add a little bit of that. Now beets are full of vitamins. They're hardy as well, and they're sweet, earthy, and just perfect for those winter nights and days when you gotta go. So add as much as you would like. You don't have to go too much, but so far we got a good heaping of salad going. Going with a little bit of mixed greens. So there's romaine, it's radicchio, red leaf, arugula, all kinds of stuff in there. So adding on to that. And then we have some cooked quinoa. Now you can use any grain you would like. It doesn't have to be just quinoa. We can go with couscous, you can go with barley, you can go with bulgur, anything that adds a little bit of more protein and more substantial bite to it. Quinoa is great because it's full protein and it's hearty. It'll keep you going, and it's something that is nice to have yourself a salad like that. Here we have blue cheese that I crumbled up. Any blue cheese. Now if you don't like blue cheese, you can go goat cheese, you can go any cheese you want, so brie, but in this instance we're using some blue cheese. Again, preference. Now I did very big chunks because I don't think we want them to be mushy, so I kept them as big as possible. So now we have all our ingredients are in there. Everything was previously been seasoned for this with salt and pepper, and the beets were seasoned with a little Italian seasoning. So now we want to create our dressing. Now when it comes to dressing, you can use a store-bought dressing like a balsamic, Italian, or ranch. It's totally up to you. Here, for the simplicity and the healthier factor, we're just going to use a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. So we got about a couple tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil, just enough to coat it. You don't want too much. And we're using a nice extra virgin olive oil, as it is for a salad. And then we're going to squeeze some fresh lemon juice that will complement the citrus that's already in there, in grapefruit and orange, as well as add a little bit acidity more to the beets and the grains, a little more flavor. Now you can go a little bit honey in there, you can go a little bit maple syrup, it's totally up to you, but I think it works pretty good at what you have in here. So I think I have about 1 full lemon of juice in there, and then it's just a simple toss. You don't want to go too hard on it because you don't want to break up the leaves of the lettuce or mush up the blue cheese. So it's something that you just want to toss it lightly. It's nice and colorful. It's got a lot of texture. Now for those who like a little bit of more texture into it, you can always add walnuts, you can add almonds. For those who have nut allergies, you can also add sunflower seeds, which is a great piece to add with a little bit more protein to it. And that's kind of the salad as we mix it. And then what we're going to do is we're going to plate it up. You can do this family style, you can do this individually, you can pre-package this for the next day, with the exception keeping the mixed greens out of it so it doesn't die on you. But you see the little nice segments in it, the blue cheese, the red onion, the cabbage. It's a fantastic little lunch, especially if you add a little protein and chicken or beef into it. Thank you very much for watching.